Transport Minister Fikile Mbalula and the Passenger Rail Agency of South Africa, PRASA, the board will this morning reveal steps taken to stabilise the entity. PRASA, as we know, has been battling mismanagement and corruption for years. Malungelo Booi is tracking that story and joins us live from Braamfontein this morning. Malu, what sort of form will today's engagement between the Transport Ministry and PRASA take as they reveal these steps that have been taken?
Well, first, Mish, what these officials will be doing, they're going to go on an oversight to visit some of the railway stations and railway lines here in Gauteng. That's the infrastructure that belongs to the Passenger Rail Agency. Some of that infrastructure, Michelle, had actually been vandalized and had stopped operating for a number of years. PRASA saying that they have been working to fix some of those lines and trains to make sure that customers are able to essentially utilize it. As you rightfully indicated, people across the country who use train services in some parts of the country have actually been complaining about the train services, about how poor they are. And this has been going on for years, Michelle, and part of that really has been because of vandalism, but also just because of mismanagement at PRASA. And some of that mismanagement and corruption which you spoke about, Michelle, is actually documented in the State Capture Report, which was released by Chief Justice Raymond Zondo, I think over a month ago, which really details the extent of the problems that this rail agency has heard for over the years. In fact, the Chief Justice in his report going as far as to say, even though he got extensive evidence from some of the witnesses that took part in the State Capture Commission, he felt that there was still a need for an inquiry into the extent of the problem at PRASA. In fact, he went as far as to say, Michelle, that to actually say that the National Director of Public Prosecutions needs to make sure that there is a team that looks into the wrongdoers and make sure that there is a prosecution of those who wronged this passenger rail agency and robbed it of billions of rands. And we know, Michelle, between 2014 and 2017, at the time, Papa Molefe was the chair. This is the man, Michelle, according to the State Capture Commission report, who we're told had done everything in his power to make sure that he deals with corruption within PRASA. But we are told that he didn't receive, or the PRASA board at the time did not receive any support from the executive. That's the former president, Jacob Zuma, as well as the current president, Cyril Ramaphosa, who was the deputy president at the time, as well as the ministers, and as well as also the portfolio committee on transport. In fact, it goes on, Michelle, to say the board at the time really was, there was so much hostility towards it, especially when it came to them trying to address the issue of corruption. So what we'll hear then from the minister and the board are the steps that they are taking to try and turn around this organization, like many other state entities which have been ruined by corruption as a result of state capture.
The Transport Minister, as you say, Malungelo, has been talking tough on corruption, saying that we need engineers at PRASA and not theologians. Let's hear what he has to say in that briefing today. Malungelo Booi, thanks very much indeed for that update.